So I wanted this video to be an introduction to pairing your cigars to get the maximum flavor output from your cigars. These are not rules, these are just guidelines that I follow when I think of things to pair with my cigars. Everybody's taste buds are slightly different, everybody has different preferences, so don't take these as rules, but use these as guidelines if you want to, on the best way to get the maximum output from your cigars. So the first guideline I like to follow when pairing cigars is to match the color and strength. So what I have here, this is a medium beer, this is a Sam Adams Winter Lager, and I'm pairing it with this H. Upmann 1844 Reserve. If you notice just the color, look at this color, they're both kind of like a deep amber ruby color. They're both medium strength, or just kind of like not too high on the spectrum of taste, but also not down there with no taste. And so they should pair really well together. I've never actually made this pair before, but I was looking through my humidor and I was thinking of what would match good with this beer I had, and I started with the H. Upmann. So we're going to go ahead and cut this up, and while I talk about the other guidelines, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of smoking going. If you've never had the H. Upmann, it's actually a really great cigar. So getting a little bit more into this guideline, the reason you want to match color with strength is because you really don't want to over strengthen one over the other. You don't want to pair this cigar with a tonic water, because you'll really just taste this cigar the entire time. You won't taste the tonic water. You really need a really mild cigar to do that. In the same way, you don't want to pair a really mild cigar with an espresso. All you'll taste is the coffee every time. You'll get a little bit from the smoke from the cigar, but you'll taste the coffee. So that's my first guideline. My second guideline, complement, not copy. When I first started smoking cigars and I found out there was coffee flavors, I loved it. I love coffee, and I found out about the Java Mint, I found out about the nub cigars, and just there's a lot of great coffee flavored cigars out there. I made the mistake of copying those flavors with a cup of coffee. So for example, when I first started, I would get a nub cafe and I would pair it with a cafe latte. You know, the colors matched a little bit, but the flavors were so similar that it was just like eating French fries and chips. But you don't eat French fries and chips together. It's the reason the chocolate covered pretzel exists. Salty and sweet are total opposites, but they complement each other so well that they just put them together, and everyone wishes they thought of that. So that's guideline number 2, complement, not copy. A third guideline is to trust yourself. Over time, while smoking cigars, you'll start to try different things that you maybe didn't read about. Maybe in the beginning you read that certain cigars go well with certain types of brandy or rum or whiskey. Maybe you tried them, maybe you liked them, maybe you didn't. But these are the same as my guidelines. These are general just guidelines. Like, this is just what a lot of people like. But once again, you're your own person and everybody else is different. You may like something like a cigar with milk. I don't know. I've never tried it, so I can't comment on it. But what I'm saying is, you might like something that's totally out there, but to you is like the best enjoyment. So in that respect, the whole point of a cigar is to relax and enjoy yourself. So if you do find something that you like, who cares what other people think, right? So trust yourself, try something. Maybe you try like the perfect combination. Maybe you try this. This is actually pretty good. But maybe you try this and you think, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine. You have the ability to find your thing, and that's what's really important. So guideline number 3 is to trust yourself. Which leads me into my 4th guideline, which is to test, test, test. don't get caught up on one cigar with one type of beverage, or one type of cigar with these two types of beverages. Get caught up on mass data. Get caught up on, let me try different types of beers with cigars. You know, I'm normally not a beer drinker, but maybe there's so many microbreweries now. Maybe there is a beer that complements a cigar really well that no one's tried yet. I live in North Carolina, and this place is booming with microbreweries. So you gotta test, you gotta try different things, and honestly, I think you'll thank yourself later. I've tried so many different things. Some you don't like, it's fine, honestly. Like, if you don't like it, you switch up the next time. Like I said, you don't want to drink water with a really dark, oily cigar. And it's the same way you don't want to have a mild cigar and drink espresso. It's just, you want to balance it as good as possible. So you got to test. You got to test everything. That's the beauty of living this life and in this world, is you have the ability to test just about anything you want. So definitely test. That's my fourth guideline. My fifth guideline is to listen to suggestions. Now, if you don't have the time or the patience to test, as per said in the fourth guideline, listening to suggestions is a great way to at least get started with pairing your cigars. For example, I suggested this pairing in this video. It's really not bad, honestly. What I get here is malty with a slight sweetness and a hint of spice, complemented by floral notes. Very medium beer, very unaggressive to the palate. My wife doesn't really drink beer, but she tried this the other day and she said, yeah, it's really not bad. And what I get here, oily and leathery. This is also medium bodied, with notes of earth, pepper, nuts, and cedar. So here's what makes this pairing work. This is leathery and earthy and nutty and all these flavors that are very specific. And then what this has is a slight bit of sweetness, some floral notes. They're almost complete opposites. There's a little bit of earthiness in this. There's not much sweetness at all in this, but since this is a medium cigar, it's really not harsh either. And if you just think about that for a second, how they would pair, it's really, like I said, it's all middle of the road. It's all medium. So what I'm trying to get at is, this works because it works. It works because the sweetness in the beer complements the earthy notes and nuts. And you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a food critic. I barely even pay attention to what things taste like most of the time. But I'm listening to myself. I think it's good, so it's good. But that doesn't necessarily translate to you. But it's okay for you to listen to suggestions, because what do you have to lose? You try this, you don't like it? This guy sucks, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe so. But at the same time, maybe you will like it, and then maybe you'll subscribe, but then maybe we'll become friends and we can have a conversation about cigars sometime. If you watch my other video, one of my favorite things about cigars is the community. So that's all I got to say about that. So those are my 5 guidelines to pairing cigars. If you're not very good at it, if you just started smoking cigars, whatever the case may be. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe. I hope we stay in contact. And I hope you have an amazing day. think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this one and maybe another one. I'm going to soak up this crisp weather we're having. I think the high today is only 68, 64 degrees, something like that. I love this season, especially for being outside smoking. The beautiful leaf changes and everything else. So I'm going to do that. And I hope you subscribe for the next video. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.